Hello everyone. Tonight we are going to be covering Module 3, Lesson 5, and our goal is to subtract fractions with unlike units. This is similar to adding fractions with unlike units because in order to add or subtract, we have to have the same unit. Otherwise, we don't really know what we've got when we're finished. We're going to start off by subtracting unit fractions, which means that the numerator is 1. And first of all, we'll subtract 1/3 from 1/2. And we're going to start out very similar to what we did with addition. We're going to draw an area model for 1/2, and we'll shade in one part. We'll draw an area model for 1/3. And we will shade in one part. And then we're going to cut the 1/2 into thirds and cut the 1/3 into half. So we now have two area models that use the same unit, which is 1/6. So we know that our new denominator is going to be 6. I'm going to go ahead and label everything. And when we change the unit or the denominator to sixths, 1/2 is going to become 1, 2, 3 sixths. And when we change the unit to 6 for 1/3, we have 1, 2 sixths. Now, subtraction is a little bit different than addition because we're not putting them together, we're taking things away. So what we need to do is look at the second area model because that's the one that we're subtracting, and we have to see how many units we're subtracting, and then we need to X those out from our first area model. So we started with 3/6 and we subtracted 2/6, and now we've got 1/6 left. So up above we're going to write 3/6, and we took away 2/6 because that's equivalent to 1/3, and what we have left is 1/6. Just this one part right here is left over. We're going to practice one more time with unit fractions and do 1/3 minus 1/4. They both have 1 as their numerator. We will draw the area model for 1/3. And we'll color in one piece out of the 3. And we'll draw the area model for 1/4. And we'll color in 1 out of the 4 pieces. And then we're going to make sure that both parts are cut up into the same number of units, and we'll transfer the lines from one area model to the other. And I'd like you to notice that when I move the 2 lines from 1/3 over here, what I'm actually doing is multiplying the number of pieces by 3. And when I draw the 3 lines that cut 1/4 into fourths, what I'm actually doing is multiplying the number of units by 4. So we now have 12 units, and you may want to notice that if we multiply the denominators, 3 times 4 equals 12, and now we have 12 units in each of our denominators. So I'm going to count the units. 1/3 equals 1, 2, 3, 4 twelfths, and 1/4 equals 3 twelfths. So we're going to make sure that we write it in a very organized way up above, and I want to reiterate that you need to be working along with me and practicing drawing the area models just like I do and writing the equations just like I do, so that when it comes time to show other people your work, it's easily understandable. Okay, so we've got 4 twelfths minus 3 twelfths. And what we're going to do is take these 1, 2, 3 twelfths, and we're going to subtract them over here from the 4 twelfths, and what we have left is 1/12. Okay. Okay, now we're going to try solving a problem with a non-unit fraction, which means that the numerator is a number other than 1. So let's try 2/3 minus 1/4. Now 2/3 is not a unit fraction because it's got a 2 as the numerator, and of course 1/4 is a unit fraction because it has a 1 as the numerator. We're going to draw our area model, and we will divide it into thirds, and since we have a 2 as the numerator, we make sure that we color in 2 parts, and we'll draw another area model which we will divide into 4 equal portions, and we will color in 1 of those parts. Now, as usual, we are going to transfer the lines from each area model over to the other. So we'll take these 3 lines, or the 2 lines that make thirds, and put them, overlay them on the 1/4, and we'll take the 3 lines that create fourths and overlay them on the area model for 2/3. Now I want you to notice that basically what we're doing is multiplying 3 times 4, because now we have 3 in one direction and 4 in the other direction. And Mrs. Hughley needs to go back and make sure that she labels everything. This is 2/3. And this is 1/4. And of course, when we change our unit to twelfths, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 twelfths in 2/3. And we have 1, 2, 3 twelfths in 1/4. So we'll transfer those numbers up above. So 2/3 minus 1/4 equals the same as 8 twelfths minus, oops, this is supposed to be a 12 down here, minus 3 twelfths. Okay, and now we're going to take, we're going to move each of these 3 twelfths. We're going to cross them off of our original, and I can see that I have 5 twelfths left. So I know that 8 twelfths minus 3 twelfths equals 5 twelfths. Okay, great. I think I have succeeded in making this lesson a little bit shorter than the last 2 were, and I am going to continue striving toward making these lessons 4 to 5 minutes long. If you felt like you need to go back to 4th grade and look at what you did in 4th grade because you've forgotten about it, log on to IXL 4th grade. R.3 is going to give you a review of subtracting fractions from last year. I'll see you tomorrow.